All right, people. So I said I wanted to do more videos not related to politics or wrestling, really, because I'm just tired of both of those things, especially the election. So here I am with kind of a non. I guess this could get political, but I mean it's just pretty much a basic fact. So the fact of the matter is that I mean this is a very high number. 35% of teenage girls get pregnant in America. So first off, that right there is just shocking. You think to yourself, what the fuck is going on here? I mean, why is pretty much a third, actually it's slightly more than a third of teenage women getting pregnant at least once? I mean, that's ridiculous. That should not be happening. Because I guarantee you pretty much every one of those, or a vast majority of those, are unplanned. And, I mean, that's just fucking horrible. First off, it creates an inconvenience for the whole family, pretty much. Costs a lot of money. And it also, for the whoever's raising the child is, might not be able to go to school and do what they want. I mean, it's just I mean, obviously, I'm not going to go on about that, but obviously it's a big problem. So, but how do we fix it? How do we fucking fix it? So, I mean, the big debate is, should there be, like health class, should there be talk of sex and sex prevention or, birth control and shit like that? And I say, of course there should. Because parents are never going to tell their kids about condoms or give them condoms or, put them on, they might put them on birth control, but the fact of the matter is parents are going to tell their kids not to have sex, or that's what's going to happen. Because if they tell their kids, "Oh, use a condom," that's pretty much saying that, oh, it's okay to have sex, which parents are never going to do that. So children, who are younger, 16, 17, 18, 19, are never going to be taught about birth control. And while they might know it's there, they might not know the actual risks of they might not know the statistics. So the fact, like I said, they might not know that 35% of teenage girls gets pregnant and how just risky it is to have sex without, using any form of birth control whatsoever. And, the whole pull-out method, that shit, it's not a great method. So don't fucking do it. Especially, it's just, I think it's like 70, it's very ineffective versus condoms or other forms. So, I mean, and I mean, we have to have a discussion about this. I know a lot of people might not want to talk about it, but it's something that we have to talk about and be mature about too. I mean, I'm just trying to have a normal conversation here. And so, I mean, we have to tell our children, because the children are never going to stop having sex, or teenagers, they're going to have sex, all right? It's just going to happen. Telling them not to is not going to work. No matter how much a parent tries to stop them from having sex, they're going to. I mean, unless you fucking like lock them in a basement, you can't really prevent them from having sex. It's going to happen. So we might as well in school teach our children about birth control and how important it is to use birth control, because the parents are probably not going to do it. And we have, like I said, we have a huge problem with teen pregnancy. So it's not, whatever we're doing right now is not working. So, I mean, it should be taught in schools. I fully agree with that. And it should be taught at the high school level too, not at the college level. It could be taught at both, but it's important to teach them young, teach them first year, because everybody knows what sex is. I mean, I know some people might want to live in a fantasy land and think, oh, ninth graders, they don't know what sex is yet, when that's totally false. So, yeah, it's I think that would be important. Teach them that if you use a condom correctly, 98% of couples, and this means 98% of couples, so couples have sex, a couple times a week. So if a condom is used correctly, 98% of couples will prevent a pregnancy, will not get pregnant in that year. So that's just talking. That's talking about a lot of fucking times having. You know, if you just take one instance, I mean, the chances you get pregnant are very, very low. And if you're smart about it, you know, you use multiple forms of birth control. So where if you have sex, it's very, very, very low chance of getting pregnant. So, and like I said, there's some people who, obviously some retards, some fucking morons who don't even use any form of birth control whatsoever. So that fucking 10 minutes of pleasure is more important to them. They're willing to take that risk to really get pregnant. I mean, there are some really dumbass people in this world who are willing to have sex for fucking 10 minutes and willing to take that risk to get pregnant. So I guess, you know, that 10 minutes of pleasure is way more important to them than having a child and ruining their lives. So I mean, it's fucking, and when a teenage person gets pregnant, I mean, it's obvious that the child will not be raised in a good of household as if the mother was older and had a house and had a family and, you know, was better financially off. And also pregnant teenagers have, you know, they smoke. I don't know how to phrase this, but they're less healthy. You know, the baby before it's born is not given as healthy environment as to grow up in as it would be if the mother was older and more mature. So, I mean, I could go on and on about how bad, you know, having a baby is when you're younger as opposed to older is. So, it's a very important thing. It's something that isn't really talked about a lot. And I think it should be, because it's a big health crisis here in America. The problem of teenage pregnancy. And how do we fix it? Well, I think a big way is to start promoting birth control, because I don't care how much the Catholic Church says not to have sex, it's not going to happen. People are going to have sex. It's going to happen. So you might as well promote ways to stop sexually transmitted diseases and stop, you know, unwanted pregnancies. Because if you do get pregnant and you don't want, I mean, I mean, it's going to happen. Birth control isn't 100% effective, but using no birth control at all versus using like a condom or something, it's night and day. So that's all I wanted to say about that. So there's another kind of a non-wrestling, non-politics topic there. So let me know what you think about it. How do we stop this problem of teenage pregnancy? Because I don't care how much you tell kids not to have sex and how bad it is to have sex, they're going to do it. They're going to fucking do it. So you might as well tell them to use a condom. And condoms are already easily accessible. So I don't buy that argument that, oh, you know, Catholics and these Republicans want to ban birth control. That's not true. So we just got to promote birth control more, I think. And let kids know about the dangers of having sex without birth control. So there you go, people.